Right. Please tell me who you are and what's your function. What do you do here?
Hello, I'm Marko van Vegt. I'm here for IJsfontein. My function at IJsfontein is marketing and sales. And I'm at the front end of projects. So I try to stimulate companies to get in contact with IJsfontein and get into serious gaming.
Yeah.
And especially more or less more active for healthcare. IJsfontein has a
broad spectrum. They
broad
also do
spectrum.
with learning and then.
Yeah. But I'm specialized for healthcare. Yeah.
So what's your story here? What do you tell people?
Well, we are a sponsor for 3 years. We decided last year that we want to commit ourselves to this Congress for the first 3 years. And we decided that the first year we would show the people what is in development at IJsfontein. This year is the year where we show what projects we have finished and are at customers now. And the last year will be research, so we can prove that serious gaming works. Mm-hmm. So we take the people by the hand through 3 years of Games for Health.
So when they visited you last year, they saw something different than they see this year?
Yeah, they see the end of the process this year, yeah.
So now you are here with the products.
Yeah.
What sort of products do you?
We have 4 projects which we are focusing on. That is medical calculation. That is into dementia, the Alzheimer experience we have today outside, standing here. That is the ABCDE Sim, which is a project for Erasmus. And we have the aggression game to empower people to stand up to verbal aggression.
To what sort of?
Verbal aggression.
Yeah. Why are these games important?
That's a good question. Not so easy to answer. Well, for into dementia, it's because we want the family members and the people who are close to people who have the Alzheimer disease to get the experience of how it is to forget things, to be a patient.
Yeah.
And that's
so it makes you feel
you get the insight, and from the insight you can empower yourself and the patient for understanding what he or she is going through. Uh-huh. So that's one side. The other side is the problem of aggression in healthcare is a large problem. Almost the half of the professionals in healthcare get confronted with violence. Verbal violence, and we want to empower them as well. So we made a game in which you get 9 scenarios of more or less aggressive clients or even colleagues. Mm-hmm. And with the ABC method you empower yourself to handle with those problems.
Situations.
Medical calculation, well, it's a big problem. A lot of people die in hospitals because of the fact that they got the wrong medicine.
Really?
So that's a large problem. Government has taken some steps in that, and they want to be testing the professionals who are handing out medicines. The managers are scared of testing them because when they are tested and they get not a good grade, they cannot stand at the beds anymore. Mm-hmm. So that's a problem why they don't test them anymore. But on the other hand, as a manager, they know there's a problem. So we made a game, medical calculation, in which the problem gets on the table because it's a social game. You play it with someone else or you play it with your team. And that gives insight, but also it empowers people to say to each other, "Come on, let's do something about this. It's a large problem." Yeah. And we're not only trying to teach how to calculate, but we're also trying to empower the people to not be afraid to do the test. So that's very interesting.
But these are specific answers for the games you make. But why are games for health important in general?
Because it's a nice way to get educated, to get more information, to become a better professional, and it helps the healthcare to be cheaper. Because of the fact that, for instance, the training of aggression, it was a 2-day outdoor training. So you had to go away from your job. They had to hire someone else to do your job.
Yeah.
And that costs money. This is like a training which now only lasts for 2 hours and a half-day practice. So there's a lot of time winning in that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's also, there's an economic side to it as well.
Yeah. You say it's nice. People, it's a nice way to learn things.
Yeah.
You yourself have Parkinson.
Yes.
Are there already games on the market for that?
Well, I'm very motivated to get that arranged, and we have some contacts with Bas Bloem, who is my neurologist, and he has a plan with that, and but he's searching for funding. But we are in contact with them, and we had some discussions, we had some talks with each other, and we have some kind of concept in our minds now. And we're this fall he will have a few meetings with people who maybe can arrange the funding, and then we're going to make a Parkinson game.
So how could a game help you?
For Parkinson's disease, it's very important to do sports, to be active, because when you're active, your brain gets stimulated, and there's a new insight that when the brain is active, it still recovers those areas who are ill. So you make dopamine, and that helps you to have less stress from the Parkinson's disease. Mm-hmm. So that's a very quick win.
Yeah, yeah. But why do you need a game for that? When you know that, I think I would probably run every day.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
For me, I'm sporting all my life.
Yeah.
For me, it's not an effort to go out and take a bike or go tennis or squash or even fitness. Although the motivation is different from before I knew I had Parkinson. Yeah. But there are a lot of people who are not motivated in themselves. They have to have the stimulation by this game.
It's such a strange thing for me, because I think when you know you will get better by doing something, why don't you do it?
Well, it's funny because I think so as well. Yeah. But we have obesitas, we have people who have a heart problem, people who have lung problems. All those people, sports will help them to manage their disease better. Yeah. But still, they're not going out to sport. Yeah. So gaming is works very good in motivating people, because what you give them, it's an easy explanation, but the bad habits you can play in the game as well. For instance, if I was a nut sporter and I loved to eat hamburgers every day, I still can do that in the game. But what I get back, the feedback is that I'm not doing well in the game. Yeah. And so there comes the competitive side of everybody, because Homo ludens, we want to play always. We want to play with the goal, and we want to win as well. And then you find out your own strategy to gain more points, to be better in the game. And when you're better in the game, you see, for instance, that when I go out sporting and I have a stappenteller, and I put in the things I gained by sporting, and I'm winning in the game, then I'm motivated. Yeah. So people need on another level, need the motivation to get moving.
To get the motivation and to learn about themselves.
And to learn about themselves.
It might even be possible to eat a hamburger if you sport more after
exactly,
that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Are there any big trends you see in games for health at the moment?
No, not especially. Some trends are that we go for another device. The smartphone is up and running.
Yeah.
But for instance, the people for the aggression game, those are the nurses standing on the beds. The number of smartphones, the percentage of smartphones is very low in that particular target group. So we decided still to bring out the game on desktop. So yes, we are innovating, yes, there are some changes in the market, but we still have our customers who have to play the game. So if those customers don't use, for this specific example, smartphones, we're not going to bring things out on smartphone.
Because then you miss the...
Yeah. I think the healthcare and serious gaming is growing very fast now. This congress is, we were there last year also. There are more interesting people than last year, so the level of for us doing business here and presenting us is better than last year. Maybe that's a trend that the right people are on the right spot now.
And what are interesting people?
Decision makers, people who are professionally involved with learning people new things, learning colleagues new things, people who are touching the interesting knobs so they can
going over the money or
going over the money.
So does it mean there are insurance companies over here?
I spoke to one insurance company. I spoke to one pharmaceutical company. They weren't here last year, so that's a change. Yeah. But they're far ahead.
They're the first.
No, sorry. The opposite. They're far back in the process. They're just looking around and they're wondering from how come we didn't know there's already
they're
so
the
much.
pioneers in their field probably to be here.
Exactly.
So next year maybe there will be even more.
Yeah.
So what will the world look like in 10 years' time?
We're all playing.
Yeah? Are you sure?
Well, I think it's for healthcare. It's interesting. For other professional branches, it's interesting. Education will grow fast. I think the coming 3 to 5 years. Yeah. Because it's already pointed out that children learn much easier by playing games than the traditional way of our education system. The fun thing about playing games is that you get compliments about any progression you make. Even if you get a 4 on your exam, you still made some progression. And in our old system, a 4 is written down in red, and you're not succeeded for the test. And there's a big difference because every progression gives you more motivation. So that's the main thing I think will change the whole education system.
What's your favorite game for health yourself?
Well, it's too complex to play for me, but the ABCDE, which we made for Erasmus, is, as a colleague of mine said, it's fucking NASA. I never played a game this complex, and I never made a game this complex. So it's our flagship in going deep into the science side of healthcare. And the way the project manager on that game and the designer Evert, my colleague, we had a discussion with Erasmus lady, and she said what's interesting is if Evert is standing in a first aid situation, I think he will be able to recover the patient. Really? Although he doesn't have
any medical training.
No, but he made the game. So yeah. So that's very interesting. Yeah. What it does to people. We're not specialists in the field of healthcare. We're not specialists in the field of banking and financials. We're not a specialist in the Schiphol area. But every time we make a game, we come out somehow as a sort of specialist, and that's very interesting. Yeah.
What sort of game do you play yourself for your health?
I go out mountain biking.
So the
I play
old-fashioned
squash.
games.
Yeah, the old-fashioned games. No, I play not for my health, but I like limbo very much, and braid are two games I play now and then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.